Hi, my name is Umberto Mucci and this is We the ItaliaNews, a podcast about Italy during coronavirus times. Today is Monday, October 11, 2021, and I want to wish all my Italian American friends and viewers a happy Columbus Day. As of today, 73% of the Italian population is fully vaccinated, considering only the over 12s targeted by the vaccination campaign. The goal of 80% of Italian fully vaccinated has been reached. Besides, the 85% of the population over 12 has had at least one dose. Instead, 4% is the percentage of people who have also received the third dose, considering the categories of Italians to whom the government has decided to administer it at the moment. As every Monday, just a few numbers about the situation of the contagion in Italy. Over the past 7 days, with regard of the new positive cases, we averaged a percentage change of minus 14.7% compared with the previous 7 days. In the same period, the average change in the number of patients admitted to ordinary wards was minus 11.4%. With regard to intensive care units, instead, in the last 7 days, the average change was minus 15.5%. On average, in the last 7 days, we had 39 deaths a day, with a variation of minus 19.2% compared to the previous 7 days. As I always say, minus signs are what we need. The trend goes in the right direction and continues to speed up. These are good news. We're not out of the woods yet, but Italy is winning this battle. The best region for doses administered in relation to the population are Molise, Lombardy, Tuscany, Sardinia, and Emilia-Romagna. The worst are Trentino Alto Adige, Sicily, Calabria, Valle d'Aosta, and Campania. As far as age groups concerned, 93.5% of those over 80 are completely vaccinated. This percentage drops to 85.9% in the 70-79 age group, 79.8% in the 60-69 age group, 75.9% in the 50-59 age group, 79% in the 40-49 age group, 67.5% in the 30-39 age group. It goes up to 71.8% in the 20-29 age group, while in the 12-19 age group, 60.8% are completely vaccinated. The rate of hospitalization in the last 30 days is 8 times higher for the unvaccinated than for the fully vaccinated. In the over 80s, the number of ICU admissions of the fully vaccinated is 10 times lower than the unvaccinated, while the death rate is 13 times higher in the unvaccinated than in the fully vaccinated. The Italian government has formalized the decision to administer the third dose of anti-COVID vaccine to all Italians over 60 at least 6 months after the second dose. In addition, the third dose will also be administered to Italians who are under 6 years old but are affected by diseases that make them fragile or immunologically at risk. It is about 20 million people. However, the problem remains that there are still about 8.4 million Italians not vaccinated among the over 12, while there are over 43 million Italians covered in full cycle and 2.5 million waiting for the second dose. Italy is the second country in the G10 for percentage of vaccinated. Only Canada has done better, while in Europe we are third behind Denmark and Portugal, two countries much smaller and easier to manage than Italy. From today, Sicily, after the third consecutive week of downward trend of contagion, is back in the white zone, a month and a half after the passage in the yellow zone. Also today, in the whole country ends the obligation of interpersonal distance of at least 1 meter, completely reopen the places of culture, and in schools the new rules provide that a class will temporarily move in teaching distance only from the third contemporary case in that class, the vaccinated in quarantine for 7 days and the other for 10 days. If the positive cases in the class are 1 or 2, who is positive will obviously go into quarantine, but all their classmates vaccinated will remain in school. Of course, this applies to schools where students are over 12 years old. But the most important novelty will start on October 15, when the Green Pass will be mandatory to enter all workplaces, at least until December 31, then we will know. Pharmacies are preparing for a much higher demand for swabs, since those who are not vaccinated will need to take a swab every 48 hours to have the Green Pass updated if they're negative. There are about 5.5 million Italians of working age who have not yet been vaccinated. There is a strong fear that some regions will not be able to sustain the number of tests they need to process to issue green passes. And the concern of companies grows. There is a great risk of being without workers, and also will be very hard to do the many checks that are planned. In view of October 15, last Saturday, those who do not want to vaccinate and do not agree went into the streets of Rome, but the situation has degenerated. They were demonstrating, but they were joined by criminals who tried to break into Roman institutions, damaged numerous properties, threatened journalists, shouted fascist slogans, and ended the day by breaking into an emergency room, injuring 4 nurses and interrupting the service for patients who were there for their health problems. Obviously, all of Italy is outraged against these criminals. According to a research from the European Centre for Digital Competitiveness, Italy is in second place for digital transformation among G7 countries. As part of the Digital Europe program, EU is funding 7.5 billion euros for digital hubs that are or will be supported by their member state. A digital hub is a one-stop shop to help companies dynamically respond to digital challenges and become more competitive in Europe after the pandemic. Each participates in technology clusters, initiatives and funding, while offering tech services to those who need them. Currently, Italy has 53 fully operational digital hubs and 14 in preparation. Meanwhile, in France, only 25 are currently operational, while in Germany there are only 33. The report shows how all countries came up with measures to aid digital transformation since 2018, while ranking the best performers and digital risers. This year, China is on the podium, while the US, Japan and Germany have dramatically slipped. Yet Italy remains the real surprise. The country was able to improve its position from last place within the G7 last year to second place in 2021, and now it ranks 8th among G20 countries. Italy's recent digital successes offer hope of a change in Italy's technological reputation. Yet, thanks to the recovery plan, committing over a quarter of its sums to business and state digitalization, enormous opportunities are yet to come. The pandemic and some regulations decided by the government have caused a great acceleration of digital payments in Italy. In the first half of the year, growth was very strong, plus 23% compared to the first 6 months of 2020. The raise concerns the so-called contactless, i.e. operations carried out by simply bringing the credit card close to the reader, which increased by 66% in the first half of the year. Greater confidence in this type of instrument is also demonstrated by the average amount spent, which fell by 1.4%, a sign that Italians are using their cards more and more, even for smaller expenses. Transactions made via smartphone have also more than doubled, plus 108%. The progress made in the last year, however, is not enough to move Italy out of third last in the European ranking for credit card use. We are 25th out of 27. Let me end this video by renewing my Happy Columbus Day to you all. Today at 11 a.m. East Coast time, 5 p.m. here in Italy, I will be part of a press conference together with the 2 members of the Italian Parliament, Fucsia Nissoli and Federico Mollicone, the Minister for the South of the Italian Government, Mara Carfagna, and Robert Allegrini, the President of the National Italian American Foundation, to celebrate Columbus and confirm the commitment by all of us to defend Columbus and Columbus Day. Besides, in this occasion, I will announce the launch of the brand new Osservatorio su Cristoforo Colombo, an Italian institution made by We the Italians and our ambassador in Liguria, Lorenzo Zeppa, dedicated to represent here in Italy those who want to defend Columbus from the horrendous, ignorant and unjust attacks of these years. Please stay tuned on our social media, and once again, Happy Columbus Day to all of you. This was We the ItaliaNews. My name is Umberto Mucci. I'll see you next Thursday. Ciao from Rome.